What's up, YouTube? So I got asked straight up, can you be friends with someone that supports Donald Trump? My answer is no. I don't care what nobody says. I can't do it. I can't. I can't really have a dignified conversation with that because I feel the agenda is racist. I think the whole DEI thing speaks for itself. When you mess with Jackie Robinson, when you mess with black military personnel and situations, especially if you grew up in a black household and you of a certain age and you got grandparents and uncles, aunts, cousins, folks who could tell you about Jim Crow directly, separate water fountains, separate movie theaters, separate this. There's no way in the world that you can dignify and justify that. So no, it's just like with Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys owner. When I hear it, I know it. You know, um, I never was. This ain't about politics. I've already told people I don't like Trump at all. I know about the apartment situation back in the 70s with his daddy, but the Central Park Five is something that was very much a part of me because I was a teenager when that thing went down. And you know, if you live in a place where they cuff and frisk and they go looking for you, and you know his defiance to the day about those guys talking about, well, I think they should be tried and all that, showed me everything. Before people come at me about, well, he's got black entertainers who all up, well, that's nothing to rave about. There's a lot of folk who listen to black music and blast it. That don't mean they would guess who's coming to dinner. I mean they gonna cook you a meal. They don't mean they gonna welcome you in. His niece Mary Trump told everything I already had already surmised about him. So no, there's nothing that, and that doesn't mean that people who like him are necessarily bad folks, but I do question their mindset. I do. I really do. Because it's not of a sanity. His agenda to divide, he's on a revenge tour. His even, we don't even have to talk it from a racial perspective. Let's just talk it from a spiritual perspective. If you are a spiritual person, what can you get out of someone who wants to be divisive? What can you get out of someone who has an agenda to put you in a place and talk like they bully and they have these tactics? Let's talk spiritual. We don't even have to talk about the racial aspect, which is, for me, that is 99.9% of it because let's be realistic. America is black and white, and you see it everything as it plays out in corporate and beyond and so on and so forth. So how do you not look at the elephant in the room? I mean, it's obvious. But let's just talk from a spiritual energy. That minister, that female minister that talked to him when he first got, uh, believe it, the services for Jimmy Carter, told him, watch how you treat people, watch how you talk to people. You know, he snarled up like a little boy, like Richie Rich, like he couldn't hear that he was a brat, you know. And it's very telling. It's very telling. Um, but that's what people like. That's what they want. I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't mind watching Archie Bunker on TV. I don't feel like you should have an Archie Bunker type running your country. But then again, I felt that way about Joe Biden because I couldn't really bring myself to, you know, really like him. But this thing with Trump is on a whole nother level because it becomes personal, because it becomes something that he makes it that way. He makes himself divisive in a way where it's an extreme. And when you're dealing with extremes, it's not a sport. It's not a conquest. It's about, you want to have spiritual unity. But when you have someone that is like that, it's hard to identify with. So no, I don't feel that I could ever be friends with anyone that supports. I can't relate to them. Family members either. I can't. Nor should I have to. Mm-mm. You grew up like I did, and your grandparents told you what they went through, and you see somebody trying to get at a Jackie Robinson historical black military in the World War II when they already had separate barracks, because that's what my grandfather went through. And my grandfather was a hero of mine. So I think 10 times out of 9, I'm just going to listen to my grandfather before I listen to what Donald Trump got to say, especially when you're a draft dodger. You didn't do anything. And I had relatives in Vietnam. I had relatives in the Spanish World War One. Why would I listen to someone that was a draft dodger and trying to legislate and dictate and put things into something that isn't formulated to just the human consciousness, that doesn't lift the spiritual realm? Why? Because the people that support him don't talk from a spiritual perspective. The intellect isn't challenging. And once we get past the taxes and the finances, what are you really supporting? That's why the athletes and the rappers and the people like that get down with him. And the tough talk, the divisive talk, but it isn't because of morality. It isn't because of class. It isn't because of dignity. So therefore, I don't want that in my mix. But who says you? Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. And a shout out to Karen Hunter, who does great work on YouTube and has had many great videos that I like. And I think this was a top. And I wanted to address this myself because I think, yeah, he's the most polarizing president I've ever encountered. And that's not a good thing. I don't like none of them because until reparations. So before you ask, I don't even, none of them, because it's all one big party. All them parties to me are like Diddy parties, and I don't go to them. But you talk reparations, you get my attention. Anything less than that, I can't do nothing with you. But when you're talking divisive and you're not talking from a spiritual enlightenment and you're using old scary tactics that were part of Reagan and Nixon and back beyond and all of them, I got no time for it. I'm out.